So a question I've been asked recently is, what is the economic impact payment, and how do I know how much I received? If you're preparing your 2020 taxes and you're using TurboTax or some other software, or maybe even a CPA, you've probably been asked, how much economic impact payment did you receive in 2020? I'm going to help you answer that question in this video, and this is a part of a series of videos I'm doing answering your questions about taxes. So hi, I'm Steve Hunt. I'm a certified public accountant, and I'm also the consultant for prosperity and adventure. I'm the expert at helping people reach their dreams faster. I'm also the owner of collegetaxrefunds.com, which is where we help recent college students and their families and parents collect and claim tax refunds that they missed on old taxes that they don't even realize they missed. So if you've got a recent college student in your family, please have them check out collegetaxrefunds.com to see if they miss money on old taxes. And as I mentioned, today I want to talk about the economic impact payments of 2020 and answer your questions about what that is and how you can know how much you received. So the economic impact payments are the 2020 stimulus checks that went out during the coronavirus pandemic. The first one went out sometime in the spring, summer, maybe even fall of 2020. It was from the CARES Act that was signed into law by President Trump in March of 2020. And that was for $1,200 per adult and $500 per dependent child up to age 16. So you probably received a check or more likely a direct deposit into your bank account of, as I just said, $1,200 per adult on your tax return. Well, that would be for you and your spouse if you're married filing jointly, and another $500 per dependent child who was under the age of 17, so up through age 16. That would be the amount of your economic impact payment that you probably received. Now, if you're not sure if you received it, the best way to find out if you got it is to go and check your bank records. Look through your bank statements or log into your bank account and go back through March or April of 2020 and go all the way through each of the months in 2020 to see if you see a deposit for the amount that I just told you. You also probably would have received a letter back in about April of 2020 from President Donald Trump. This is called the Notice 1444. It's actually from the IRS, but it was signed here by Donald Trump. It says, "My fellow American, we're in this time of trouble, and so I'm sending you an economic impact payment of," and then it says the amount, and it says by direct deposit or by check. So if you received that letter, that tells you how much the IRS thinks that you received in your first stimulus check or your first economic impact payment. Once again, this is the amount that they expect you to put on your tax return that you already received. Actually, you don't put it on your tax return. It's simply the amount that they expect you to put on the worksheet determining how much you are still eligible to receive. But if you didn't actually receive that, you need to tell your CPA or tell TurboTax what you actually received. Now, don't try to tell TurboTax or your CPA that you didn't get the money when you actually did. That will result in perhaps you getting more than you should, and then the IRS will come after you and ask you to repay it. So, once again, the way you can know for that first stimulus check is to look for a letter from President Trump or from the IRS earlier in 2020, but you probably threw it away. Once again, the best way would be to check in your bank account. You can also go create an account at irs.gov. If you've already got one, great. If you haven't, they're going to ask you for a little bit of information to identify yourself. And then once you have created an account, that you can check your account to see how much the IRS thinks they sent you for that first stimulus check. Just Google something like, how much did I get for my first stimulus or my economic impact payment, irs.gov, and follow the links to figure out how to set up that irs.gov account. Now, there was a second round of stimulus checks that was sent out in the winter of 2020 and 2021. You also would have received a letter from the IRS. This is the 1444B that says your second economic impact payment, EIP2, is going to be in the amount of, and then the dollar amount. Now, this one was for $600 per adult and per dependent child up through the age of 16. So take $600 for you and your spouse if you are filing jointly, and $600 more for each child up through the age of 16. And you probably receive that once again as a direct deposit into your bank account. So once again, if you have that form from the IRS, or if you go to irs.gov and create your account, you can see how much the IRS thinks they sent you for that second economic impact payment. However, the best way to know for sure what you got is to check your bank records. For many of us, this arrived in January 2021. So go back and look at your bank statement and see if you got that $600 per person deposit. Once again, for both of these economic impact payments, there was no money sent out for dependents who were 17 through 24 years old and were students. So that is what an economic impact payment is, and that is how you figure out how much you actually got, or how much the IRS thinks you got. When you put that information into TurboTax or give it to your CPA, your CPA or TurboTax will then calculate how much of the recovery rebate credit you are eligible for on your 1040. I think I have a copy of the 1040 here, so I'm going to switch over to that. This recovery rebate credit is on the second page of the 1040, right here, line 30, recovery rebate credit. This is where you're going to report or claim any of the stimulus checks that you did not receive for 2020. This is just the first two stimulus checks. We're not even talking about the third one, which was signed into law by the American Rescue Act of 2021. That's the one that's $1,400 per adult and $1,400 per dependent child of any age. That one is going out in 2021. Many of you have already received that. That one will be what you report to TurboTax or to your CPA when you do your taxes next year for 2021. If you don't get that one, the $1,400 one, you will claim it on your 2021 taxes. So just wait. It should still be coming sometime here in 2021. But for those of you, once again, who are doing your 2020 taxes, I've explained in this video how to figure out how much you received as in your first two stimulus checks. That's your economic impact payment. Tell that to your CPA or put it in TurboTax. And if you didn't get the full stimulus amount that you should have, then you will be eligible to claim that recovery rebate credit. Thanks so much for paying attention to this video. Please like this video, share it with your friends and family who need this information, and do please subscribe. If you have any additional questions about your taxes, please put them in the comments below. I'm making, like I say, this series of videos answering your questions about taxes. Thank you. Have a great day.